Howdy and welcome to Saturday's serving of Daily Bread. This week our bread was on being humbled and exalted. God does ordain that humility will precede exaltation. Today we'll go over prevailing with the Lord. Our scripture reading is Genesis 32:27 through 32. The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. In response to Jacob's refusal to give up without a blessing, the man asked Jacob his name. This was significant, for Jacob knew Esau's attitude to that name. Jacob had to confess he had lived up to it for much of his adult life, that he was the supplanter and deceiver Esau said he was. The time for a real change had come, and it would be the Lord's doing. He said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel." No longer would he be known as Jacob the deceiver, but as Israel. This is the first occurrence of that important name Israel in the scriptures, the first of over 2,300 times. Now, the basic meaning of the name is one who prevails. Jacob had struggled before this night, but now he struggled with God and prevailed. Did he win the wrestling match? Not really. He was permanently disabled. But now the Lord had given him a victory over himself. What a wonderful transformation for the struggling patriarch. Jacob then asked the man's name. The man's reply indicated that Jacob knew what the name was. As Jacob limped away from the place, he named it Peniel, which means face of God. His physical and emotional battle with the angel of the Lord had taken its toll on Jacob, but it yielded lasting results. He named the place Peniel because he had seen God face to face and lived to tell about it. How memorable was this experience? In verse 32, it states that Jacob's descendants did not eat the tendon. It was probably the sciatic muscle. When Jacob himself humbled himself, God blessed and exalted him. That blessing has touched generations of his descendants, and his story holds hope for us today. For like Jacob, we all must humble and submit ourselves to the Lord if we are to receive his blessings. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's portion of Fresh Daily Bread. Remember, Jesus is coming back soon, and may God richly bless you today.